Hi guys, welcome to Go Time with Showtime. This is your first time stopping by my channel. Make sure you share, like, comment, and subscribe. And for my returning subscribers, always guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a story out of Williamsburg, Virginia. And this story happened back in January. It happened on January 25th. I'm not going to get into the story. I'm going to roll the clip and let you guys see it for yourself. And then I'm going to come back and talk about it and tell you guys what I think about the whole thing and what had happened. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys in a sec.
A James City County police officer shot his sergeant outside a Williamsburg bar.
Michael Rusk is facing charges in connection to that January shooting, which seriously hurt Sergeant Christoper Gibson. Investigators initially said the two officers got into a fight after a night of drinking. But as 10 Your Size Julie Millay learned, the shooting might have been about much more than a bar fight.
Yeah,
Julie?
Tom and Amy, investigators simply said the two officers involved in the shooting were known to each other. Now we're learning what that might really mean. The alleged shooter, Michael Rusk, says he pulled the trigger in self-defense because of unwanted advances by his sergeant. We're about to share exclusive surveillance video and the 911 call from the shooting, which we played for Michael Rusk's family for the first time. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to hear it.
For the first time, Jason Rusk is hearing the 911 call his son made in the early morning hours of January 25th.
I shot Sergeant Gibson. Do what? I shot Sergeant Gibson. I pulled a gun on him because he's advancing on me. Is he breathing? He just fell out.
James City County police officer Michael Rusk called 911 after he allegedly shot his superior officer, Sergeant Christoper Gibson, outside a Williamsburg bar, where the two had been drinking together. Video given exclusively to 10 on Your Side shows the two officers before this happened.
I shot him in his right arm. Okay, I need you to take a deep breath for me, okay? Is he breathing? Is he breathing? I'm trying to save his life.
The 911 call goes on for just over 5 minutes. That's when responding officers show up to find Gibson had been shot 3 times, seriously hurt in his stomach and shoulder. Court documents show Gibson told officers Rusk shot him after a verbal argument. But Rusk, his dad, and his lawyers say it was much more than that.
You know, it started to get creepy.
Jason Rusk says his son told him about unwanted attention he got from his superior officer leading up to the shooting, and that he had reported it to others on the force.
There was a year's worth of grooming that had taken place.
Rusk says his son is the victim of unwanted sexual advances and had been for a long time.
Extremely inappropriate touching, stalking, the grooming, the previous to the incident assaults.
We reached out to Gibson several times to ask him about these allegations. He declined to speak with us. We also requested from JCCPD a record of any complaints filed against Gibson during his time there. We were denied. The video shows the officers at the bar prior to the shooting. You can see them sitting across from each other at the start. Then you'll see Gibson move in to sit next to Rusk. Gibson reaches for Rusk's hand under the table, which seems to be met with hesitation from the younger officer. Then, just about an hour before the shooting, the two are seen leaving together. After Gibson puts his hand on Rusk's shoulder, you see Rusk forcefully push him off and put a finger in his face before walking away. We don't know what happened next, but after the shooting, Rusk makes this claim to the 911 dispatcher.
I told him this is off. He kept going. I thought he was gonna rape me. Help me. Help.
If our client was a female, this case would be drastically different.
Rusk's lawyer says the video and 911 call make a clear case for self-defense.
I think it'll show that certain steps weren't taken that needed to be taken.
The attorney says those steps, like looking into Rusk's claims of unwanted sexual advances, could have prevented what Rusk's dad calls a tragedy, which will affect his son for the rest of his life.
He told people from the get-go that he was sexually assaulted. He said no, and he kept on. He said no, and he kept on. If I had a daughter in the same position, we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't have an innocent person fighting for their freedom.
Williamsburg officers are investigating the shooting. They had no comment on this story. James City County Police also declined to comment. Calls to the prosecutor trying the case were unreturned. You can hear the complete 911 call on wavy.com. I'm Julie Millay, 10.
All right, guys, you saw that video. I don't think that Mr. Rusk shot Sergeant Gibson for nothing. I think that Sergeant Gibson was making sexual advantages towards him. On the video, it looks like just two co-workers, guys, hanging out as friends and things like that. But then it gets a little creepy when Sergeant Gibson gets up, comes around the table, looks like he rubbing on the man as he's walking by, sits on the side of him. Like, why are you so close, sir? You in my personal space. I know we drinking, but I ain't drunk. Get your freak self back on the other side of that table. So I can understand how Mr. Rusk felt at that time, because I don't need nobody in my personal space either. Then you see when he tries to grab this man's hand. What man does that? What man's grabbing on another man like that? And why? Then you see where they on the outside of the bar. It looked like he was just standing there or whatever. Then he walks up with his touchy-feely self again, want to touch on the man. I think that Mr. Rusk had a reason to shoot him, and I think it was self-defense. I think he probably became real aggressive, and the man probably did think he was trying to rape him. I'd have shot him too. And I don't know what kind of stuff these people think they going through this day, but they think they could just force themselves on top of you. But he deserved it. If that's what he was doing, he deserved it. Then it said he don't want to make no comments. He don't want to sit there and talk about it. And the police office ain't making it no better because they won't give them all the reports against him that people have made or stated. Why not? Because I really think this sergeant have been doing this for a very long time to people. And he just found the right one. That wasn't for the BS. Because he sure wasn't for the bullshit that day. And he still tried to save his life after he shot him. After he been sitting there trying to touch a feeling on him and everything like that. And then it was said in a news article when I read it that it started getting real creepy with Sergeant Gibson just popping up all around Officer Rusk's girlfriend house and things like that. Like, at this point, it done went to stalking. You're stalking this man. Like he's a piece of meat and prey, and you preying on him or things like that. So guys, with that being said, we're going to end the story here. Do you think Officer Michael Rusk was wrong for shooting him? For making these sexual advances towards him? Being perverted? Or do you think the Sergeant Gibson was wrong and he deserved to get shot? I mean, nobody deserved to get shot, but nobody deserved to be felt like they about to get raped either. So guys, with that being said, I'm going to end the story right here. Always remember, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see all you guys in my next video.